And you know what? The audience swung back. And I thought it was very, very appropriate. The audience hit back. And that's what we need a little bit more of.
From day one, Trump has encouraged his followers to lean into the violence. It goes way back, and he's never tried to hide it. And now, Trump is sowing the seeds for a civil war.
Fight like hell.
Encouraging MAGA to attack dissenting Americans. If you think I'm exaggerating, you need to see this. But first, please remember to subscribe to Really American right here. It's easy, and it helps us continue this work, so Trump can't do this. All right, so after Trump's humiliating appearance at Pope Francis's funeral, where Europe got a taste of Fat Donnie in person, Trump took to his Truth Social and went off on protesters in the U.S. But my favorite is this explanation of how it's really Democrats at the Republican town halls. You know, like it was Antifa and Black Lives Matters and the FBI on January the 6th.
The radical left Democrats are paying a fortune to have people infiltrate the town halls of Republican congresswomen, men, and senators. These great patriot politicians should not treat them nicely. Have them immediately ejected from the room. They are disruptors and troublemakers. You must allow your audience to know what you are up against, or they will think they're Republicans and that there's dissension in the party. There is not. There is only love and unity. Republicans are happy with what is taking place in our country. We all love America.
But here's the problem with that. The Republicans are standing up and saying, what the holy f***? What are you doing to this country? And the list is growing.
It's embarrassing. It's shameful.
When Trump came on the scene, I was so appalled by who he was as a human. Some of the things that animated my conservatism, which was the idea that character counts, that individual responsibility matters, that American leadership in the world matters. Like, Donald Trump represents none of those things. Like, and that is where, when you say, like, why did I become a Republican voter against Trump? Obviously, it was because I thought Trump was a bad person. But also, he reflects almost none of the values that were part of the values that I had as a conservative and continue to have. Donald Trump is a unique threat, both to American democracy and to sort of the American experiment in the project, right? He is poisoning who we are as people, and he is changing our politics in every way for the worse. You don't need to be a Democrat or decide that you agree with everything Democrats believe in order to want very badly for Democrats to defeat Donald Trump and all the candidates like him in order to create a new incentive structure for a reform in the Republican Party.
But everything Trump is saying and doing is evocative of his dictatorial inclinations.
I mean, we are on the edge of a dark precipice where the rule of law doesn't exist, at least at the federal level.
I want to be a dictator.
Trump is now saying the polls he doesn't like, they should be shut down and the pollsters themselves arrested.
Great pollster John McLaughlin, one of the most highly respected in the industry, has just stated that the failing New York Times poll and the ABC Washington Post poll about a person named Donald J. Trump, me, are fake polls from fake news organizations. The New York Times has only 37% Trump 2024 voters, and the ABC Washington Post poll has only 34% Trump voters. Unheard of numbers unless you're looking for negative results, which they are. These people should be investigated for election fraud, and add in the Fox News pollster while you're at it.
But does any of this surprise you? Trump has been touting violence against those he opposes for years.
I certainly don't incite violence.
Knock the crap out of him.
Like to punch him in the face.
I don't condone violence, and I don't talk about violence.
I would have done well, but I would have been boom, boom, boom. I'll beat that.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe he should have been roughed up, because it was absolutely disgusting what he was doing.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily. We become weak. We become weak.
Part of the problem and part of the reason it takes so long is nobody wants to hurt each other anymore, right?
I don't know if I would have done well, but I would have been out there fighting, folks. I don't know if I would have done well, but I would have been boom, boom, boom. I'll beat that.
Do you plan on paying for the legal fees of this older gentleman in North Carolina who sucker punched the protester?
From what I understand, he was sticking a certain finger up in the air. And that is a terrible thing to do in front of somebody that, frankly, wants to see America made great again.
It's possible you could help him with legal fees if this man needs it.
I've actually instructed my people to look into it, yes.
And of course, when he was running against Hillary, it was more of the same.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick, If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know.
He just floated the idea that someone should assassinate a political opponent, and his people take this shit seriously.
What would solve the whole thing in the border if they would just start shooting? Only shoot a couple, and they would go home.
You think deterrence would work?
If they would shoot.
And Trump even threatened Liz Cheney.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Look, we're at a crossroads. How far can we go before Trump declares martial law and suspends habeas corpus? Oh, you think I'm over the top?
What do you do when your own intelligence apparatus around the president is trying to undercut him so he has no standing in the court when he does exactly what you say he has to do, which is suspend habeas corpus and start rolling him out of here, brother?
Well, is that the same deep state that indicted him 4 times? We don't care what they say.
He listens to Bannon, and that's where we're headed. Trump had a judge arrested. A judge. That's the beginning of the end. And when Propaganda Barbie was asked if Trump would stop there, would he arrest members of the Supreme Court?
You guys arrested a Milwaukee County Circuit judge for allegedly helping illegal immigrants get away. As you guys look at other judges, would you ever arrest somebody higher up on the judicial food chain, like a federal judge or even a Supreme Court justice?
Well, that's a hypothetical question. Again, I defer you to the Department of Justice for individuals that they are looking at or individual cases.
She wouldn't even answer, but Pam Bondi did. The Attorney General said last week the administration is open to pursuing judges whom they believe were stymieing its policy goals. We will prosecute you, she said. We will find you. Now, the Wisconsin judge was a county judge, so can you arrest a federal judge? Well, not according to the Constitution. It reads, federal judges can only be removed through impeachment by the House of Representatives and conviction in the Senate. Judges and justices serve no fixed term. They serve until their death, retirement, or conviction by the Senate. But what does that really mean?
Seemingly out of nowhere, called for the suspension of the Constitution as yet another attempt to overturn the 2020 election.
Trump is already planning to violate the 22nd Amendment, which clearly states no person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. But could 2 other Republicans run for president and vice president, then appoint Trump speaker, then both of them resign? No. The Constitution's 12th Amendment says no person constitutionally ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible to be that of vice president of the United States. That means serving 2 terms in office disqualifies anyone from running as a vice presidential candidate. But seriously, if he doesn't, who's going to stop him?
Listen, we are in unbelievably uncharted territory here. And, we're approaching the point where, honestly, it's like we're all going to have to take to the streets or something.
The Republican Party is dead from a self-inflicted wound. And if you need more evidence than his threats against anyone who opposes him, it's best to understand the support. It's an odd alliance of billionaires and evangelicals.
I brought my Bible.
And both of them have different but equally strong holds on their base. And neither will give them up easily.
And some will say that I am advocating Christian nationalism. And so I do.
The U.S. is in trouble. Yeah, we're in trouble. But when you look at the numbers, remember this. 100 million eligible voters didn't vote in 2024. And since November, Trump has wrecked the economy in his market pump and dump scheme while deporting children, U.S. citizens who have cancer. You have to ask yourself, if we don't stand up to this, do we even deserve this country?
Terrorizing our communities?
Goddamn right. Are your leaders incompetent, unqualified people compromising national security?
Yes, yes, yes.
Elon eating the dogs.
Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer?
They had what?
Bloated and fat and disgusting.
I like that.
We're a nation that speaks English.
Look, if something like that thing's dark ugly.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.